Hi folks, my name is Mr. Kuchak and I am your art teacher. Before we begin, let me go over our class rules. We have 3 rules at Elk Lake. Be ready, be responsible, be respectful. We are ready in the art room when we come in, sit in our assigned seats, and get quiet so that we can learn about art. We are responsible in the art room when we follow directions and take care of our supplies, and we clean up any of our messes. We are respectful when we use kind words like please and thank you, and when we value other students' artwork. Supplies you will need for today's lesson. Go ahead and pause the video if you need to. Hi folks. Today we are going to be doing part 2 of our Claude Monet lesson. If you did not watch the video for the first Claude Monet, please go back, watch the video, do that lesson because we're going to use parts of that lesson in today's lesson. So if you once again, if you didn't do that lesson, please go back, do that lesson first, so then you're ready for this lesson. Move the camera so that you can see my paper. I will continue talking and you can just follow along. Hi folks. So this is part 2 of our Claude Monet lesson. What we're after now is we are going to take one of our drawings that we've done and we are going to make it a little bit better and we're going to make it a little bit bigger. So we have these little sketches, we have our ideas that we have down on the paper. And what we want to do is we want to work like an artist. So an artist keeps a sketchbook. The sketchbook might be filled with different ideas or different thoughts, but they're not finished ideas. They're not finished thoughts. So what we can do is we can look at our paper and we can find things that we really like about it. And we might find some things that we don't like about it. And we can take each of those little bits and pieces and put them into one really good drawing. So what I like about this picture is I like this hay bale, so I'm going to put a little star on there. I also like this picture. I like the way the 2 circles are, and I like the picture in the back. So I think I'm going to try to combine this hay bale here along with this picture. So when I draw it out, I'm going to make sure I draw this nice and big. So like hand-wise, we want that hay bale probably about as big as our hand. So for my next part, I'm going to look at what I'm trying to draw, and then I will combine it onto this paper. So I'm going to start with the pencil, and I'm going to draw really light until I get it right. It's okay to make mistakes here, because we're going to go over it with a Sharpie, or we're going to go over it with a marker or an ink pen, something to make it stand out a little bit more. So the first one that I want to get in there is probably the circles, because they're closer to the edge. So when I look at these, I'm going to start over here, and unfortunately, for you to be able to see it, I need to draw in Sharpie. So I'm just going to switch to a Sharpie now, and I will draw it in. So I'm going to start with the first circle, nice and big. I want to fill up this paper. And I'm going to go around and around and around and around. I'm going to do that spiral. Now, behind it, over here, there's going to be another hay bale. And this hay bale goes behind it. So we don't see the whole hay bale. Some of it's hidden. This is called overlapping. When you have overlapping in there, it makes it look like your picture goes back further than it really does. It's kind of like an illusion type drawing. Next, I'm going to put in my sideways hay bale. So when I look at this, I'm going to start with an oval. So I start with an oval. I'm going to do my swirl inside. And then, remember, if it's going to go to the left, you have to take this part. You're taking this part of the curve and you're going to do that same curve back there. So I look at that, I try to follow it, and I'm going to come over here and I'm going to do that same curve so it curves the same way. Next, it's very important that we go straight across and connect. We don't want to go in because then it's going to look like a push pin. So we're going to go straight across and get that top piece in and the bottom piece in. Now, far in the background, there's going to be some other hay bales. So I'm going to draw the hay bales first, and I'm going to put them way up here in this corner. But I'm going to draw them out a little bit bigger. So I'm going to draw them out bigger than they were on that other paper. Because I like the way that they were sitting back there. Now I'm going to draw my ground line. This just shows me where the ground is. where the hay bales are. So I have sky, I have ground. And then a trick that I picked up from a drawing teacher was that if these look like they're floating, one of the things that you can do to make them look like they're not floating is put some grass over them. It kind of connects them to the ground and it keeps them from floating. So I'm just going to add a little bit of grass. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, to make it look like some grass. Over here too, just to make it look like they weren't able to mow next to it and there's some hay or grass coming up in their field. This is what my finished picture looks like. With this lesson though, we're actually going to split this up into 2. So once you have your drawing all done, take a marker, go over your drawing. So go over your pencil drawing with a marker. It could be a Crayola marker. If you're allowed to use Sharpies, it could be a Sharpie. If you can use an ink pen, use an ink pen. You just want something so that when we erase over it, it doesn't go away. Once you're done with the marker work, you can erase any extra pencil lines that you see, just to kind of clean up your drawing a little bit. Then, this is the tricky part. You're going to take another piece of paper. You're going to put it right on top, and you can kind of see through. And what you're going to do is you're going to make another copy of your picture. So I'm really taking my time to try to go around and make sure I'm trying to get as good of a copy as I can in this. We're going to use both drawings. One's going to be done one way, one's going to be done the other way, another way. So we're going to go around, we're going to go around, go around, and go around. And then I have my curved one. So I have my oval. I do that curve. I gotta find it. There it is. I'm going to draw that in. I'm also going to do my spiral. And then I have my little hay bales way back here. Way back here. Way back here. I have my ground. And then what I like to do is I like to look at them side by side, and I can see that I missed some of the grass. I just couldn't see where that was. So I'll add that in, I'll add that in, I'll add that in, and then I have some over here, and then I got a little bit more over here at the front one. So now, when I look at them, you can see I have 2 exactly the same. And that's what I need you to get done today. So get 2 drawings exactly the same. It's easier if we trace, so that's why we Sharpie them. Now, once you're done, if you used a pencil and you drew out the second one, go over it with marker again, or ink pen, or Sharpie. Whatever you have, whatever you can use, make a second copy of that so that we have 2 of them. And then next time, we'll start working on the coloring in part. So go ahead and draw these out, and I will see you next time. Have a good night.